Can I get my kid of the day to pass these out? You do it on that? Yes, sir. Yeah. Can you give me a second? Let me pass these out real quick.
Can I get,
So just wait till we. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember our protocol. Raise your hand if you have a question. What's up? Do I need to give you one? They're not back there. Don't look back. It's scraps. Why does that make you laugh? Why does the word scraps make you laugh? Can you write Kristen Greenwood down? No. Yes. What's up? Hey, I got them in the second row, sir. Or column. I already got them. Good job, Clyde. Can you get the rest, please? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. You will need your anchor text to complete this entrance ticket. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'll give you 3 minutes.
3?
To handle the entrance ticket. Yes. You need one? Yeah, go ahead. Are these yours?
No, those Christians from Coach Wells.
I got you. Thank you. Oh. Pencil? 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 I'll write to it to you.
what about my team?
The timer goes off, ladies and gentlemen. We shall begin talking about this entrance ticket. Do your absolute best, and so forth. Anchor text 86 is sitting up on Jania's desk. Yes. I will collect your journals.
Okay.
I will not collect your journals. I'm actually going to give these back. Journal entry number 13 for this lesson. You're writing an objective summary about what chapter 6 is about. This is the last journal entry for you guys know break. Thanksgiving break. Can you handle your entrance ticket? You have 1 minute and 58 seconds left. I got you. Good morning. Yes. Yes, that's fine. Wait, do I have it? Where is it? Let me know. I'll reach out to your dad. I love yeah. Hey. I like talking with other dads. No. You guys? They just want to know. Yes. Yeah, I said that. Yeah. Okay. I believe it's okay. Yes. Excuse me? You don't know where your journal entry or journal is?
My journal was trying to give you my journal.
All right. Your anchor text. What number are you?
92.
I've seen 92.
I'm 92.
What number's
92. You're 93. About another 30 seconds to that, ladies and gentlemen, then we'll go ahead and get started. Yes. One more time? One more time? Oh, just when words are used to essentially cover up what's actually going on in the text. Yes. Chamama.
What is
You okay, Seth? All right. Raise your hand if you need a couple more seconds on this.
what is chicken? Can you recite it?
Go ahead, I'll give you guys a couple more seconds. I think my timer broke.
Yeah.
I don't have a screwdriver.
Give you another 2 minutes on that, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Mr. Taylor, what are you doing?
Looking for this pen.
The day is Sean, we know. So we're thinking about this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a little lost on what we're talking about in regards to methods, these are the methods we're talking about. Inner thoughts, description, dialogue, and examples. We're going to talk about handles today, so keep that in the back of your mind.
So when you read chapters like page 79, do you notice information to be conveyed to you through inner thoughts, description, dialogue, or examples?
Yeah, because he's look for quotation marks. Okay, we see, and depending on what the font looks like. So if we have quotation marks, it's dialogue. But you know what it means for dialogue to be italicized. You know how letters are sometimes slanted a little bit, right? That's their inner thoughts. So that's how we're able to differentiate between inner thoughts and dialogue. Okay. All right, let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. All right. Gimme. Okay. As you enter class, read the learning targets, ladies and gentlemen. I had those up. Sorry. Friends? No. Hey, can I get somebody to read our first learning target, please? Hey, it's Thursday. Most of you have got what you need in regards to participation points. Do yourselves a favor. Can I get somebody to read our first learning target, please? Hodge, can you read the first learning target? Can you read our first learning target? Can you see that? Dude. Can you read the learning target? Hodge? Well, first word is analyze. Please develop. So we're following, hey, dude, thank you and good job. So ladies and gentlemen, we're following William in regards to understanding his experience and building this windmill. Essentially by the end of today's lesson, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be learning about William and his experience with school. Because remember, he's 11, you're 11. Trying to make this story as relatable as possible, okay? Can I get somebody to read that second learning target, please? Well, he was 11, you know what I mean. Can I get somebody to read that second learning target? Oh, Seth, yes, sir, go ahead.
Interpret figurative language and use kind of kind of connections
Okay.
to determine meaning in the past.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the whole reason why I became a teacher. I love figurative language. I love homophones. I love hyperboles. Don't be a hyperbole. Charlie, oh my gosh, I didn't even say anything funny yet. I appreciate you being engaged though. But ladies and gentlemen, essentially, the whole point of this lesson, or at least half of this lesson, 1/3 of this lesson, whatever, is so that we understand the connotations. Say it with me now. Connotations.
Connotation.
That was one of our words of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Connotation. It's essentially the deeper meaning of something that's presented to us via dialogue. Okay, keep that in the back of your minds as we move forward. Can I get somebody to read that third learning target, please? Oh, damn, Tristan. I gotta not be so hyped. Go ahead.
Write an effective summary on chapter 6, meaning key system.
I appreciate you. Yeah, essentially, ladies and gentlemen, I was gonna give you 2 more, what's that called? 2 more journal entries today. I was, just one will do. All you have to do is write the objective summary. And we'll talk about that criteria as we move forward into work time C, okay? With that being said, appreciate you, Tristan. Good job. All right, let's dive into this. Looking at this entrance ticket, so it says, as you enter the class, read the learning targets and complete the following activity. Reread page 79 in The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, starting at that night, ellipsis, and ending at, hold on. Fill in the chart to analyze the method used by the authors in this excerpt. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a variety of methods that are applied in regards to understanding what the author is trying to convey to us. All right. What methods did you guys notice as it pertains to page 79? Ooh. Yes, cook, sir. Cook. Hey, and the reason why I asked you guys to pull out lesson 8 at that entrance ticket introduces us to those methods. What method did you notice?
Description.
Description of what? What was being described to us? Go ahead.
Like they were describing how and what they would do. Like not. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just like they were like describing. I don't know.
That's okay, and dude, I appreciate you taking a chance, willing to take a risk to be right or wrong. Dude, thank you. That's how you build confidence, academically speaking. Sir, we're not on our devices right now. Can I have that? I don't. Doing slides for what? Oh. I need you all the way engaged, okay? All right. Can I get, hey, what other methods did you notice, ladies and gentlemen? Logan said description, but it wasn't fully followed through with. What was described, or what method did you notice? Yeah, Heinz.
Dialogue.
Excuse me?
Dialogue.
Yeah, what kind of dialogue? What purpose does dialogue serve in us understanding what the author's trying to convey to us? Okay. All right, but what's the purpose of dialogue? We see those quotation marks. We see the inclusion of specific punctuation that indicates dialogue. But what is the dialogue serving to us as the audience? It's letting us know what? Can I come back to you? Yo, Bridget, what you got? Good job, Rose.
Also, the author gives us dialogue, and the way dialogue is important is because it's showing us how the parents are trying to keep things on sticks as their own needs.
Yeah, essentially, ladies and gentlemen, the point of dialogue is so that we understand what's transpiring between characters. That's essentially helping the plot unfold. Without that conversation between the characters, ladies and gentlemen, we really don't fully understand the context of what's being conveyed to us as the audience. If everyone in the text was silent, all we heard were their inner thoughts, you really wouldn't know how they feel towards each other unless they were talking to each other. Okay? I'll take one more. Yeah, Giselle, my last one. And then we'll go ahead and get started on this.
I was going to ask about that interest.
Yeah. Sorry about that. let's do this. Diving into our lesson for today, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and pull out your anchor text. We're going to read the entirety of chapter 6. 13 pages. Let's crank this out. Yes, ma'am. Yes. I do highly encourage every other page. Sticky note, ladies and gentlemen, sticky note. You have an assessment on Tuesday.
Why do you like sticky notes?
Why do I like sticky notes? Because I don't want to go back and read. I want to be able to look at the sticky notes so that I understand what the page was conveying to me. Okay? But I do it every other page. That way I just jot down a couple words that just help me remember what happened on that page to begin with. You both started talking. What's up? It's irrelevant. Huh? Tuesday? When we come back from break, yeah. Can you pass these out, please? We are on
Page 99.
your page. Oh, hey, Avy. Hi. Is it right there? If the sun bothers you, you can relocate wherever you want. Okay. Thank you. It was good to see you. We're on page 99. Can I get you a copy of the entrance ticket / ELA daily document? Are you feeling better? All right. It's good to see you. All right. We're on page 99, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to blast through this so that you guys, hey, I have a little bit of an exercise for you guys that I want to run past. It's a new protocol. So are you guys familiar? Y'all know what turn and talk is, right?
Yes.
Can we try a new protocol today?
Yes.
It's called back-to-back protocol.
Oh,
Oh, y'all heard that before?
no. It's just like
Yeah.
self-explanatory.
Okay. Well, let's see how you guys do with it. If it works for us, we'll keep doing it in the future, or we'll alternate between turn and talks and back-to-back protocol, and so forth.
doing the audio work sometimes?
Do we have to? Sorry.
Best friends? There you
Give me 1 second, guys. I'll pull up the audio book.
go. Sorry.
Wait. Oh, are we having speaker issues again? I just saw that thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I see it. All right, excuse me. Excuse me. Malachi, are you okay? You're doing this weird thing again where you okay? All right, guys, excuse me. As the audio book is playing the text, we're following along.
My school assignment. The following week, I was at home listening to the radio, and I heard something better than any Christmas gift. The National Examinations Board has released the results of this year's Standard 8 exams, the announcer said. I raced into the kitchen to find my mother. My scores, I shouted. My scores are ready. I took off running toward Wimbe Primary, leaping over stones and puddles along the trail, for once forgetting about my hunger. I wondered which secondary school I would be attending, Chayamba or Kasungu. Ever since I decided that I wanted to be a scientist, I knew these two schools were the best for me. They had the finest teachers, libraries, and laboratories where a scientist could master his experiments. Of course, I didn't care which one I attended. Wherever those chaps needed me, I'd happily go. A crowd of students was already gathered outside the administration building. I pushed my way toward the front and found the list. The various schools were posted with their respective students slotted below. I quickly found Kasungu and scanned the names. Nothing. Moving toward Chayamba, my finger scrolled over the names Colombo, Kalimbu, then Makalani. Wait a minute, stop from this one. Here you are, King Kwamba, said a boy named Michael, who was one of the best students. Your name is here, under Kachakolo. Sure enough, he was right. But Kachakolo Secondary was probably the worst school in the district. Like Wimbe, it was a community school and very poor. No science programs. No laboratories, just rain through a leaky roof. How can this be? I wondered. Then I saw the exam scores posted on the next board. Out of 5 subjects, I'd scored only 1 B in Chichewa, which was the easiest. Everything else was marked C and D. I was going to Kachakolo because my grades stunk. My heart dropped into my stomach. I imagined the long walk to Kachakolo, about 3 miles away. It was near a big tobacco farm. A river flowed nearby where Jeffrey Gilbert and I sometimes went fishing. The road was usually filled with mud. Michael slapped me on the shoulder and laughed. Congratulations! If anything, you'll become a great fisherman. The only good thing about Kachakolo was that Gilbert was also going. His grades stunk too. In any case, in 2 weeks, we'd be walking the long muddy road together. The new year arrived with steady rains that encouraged our maize to grow. The seedlings had sprouted well without fertilizer and still seemed healthy. By now, their stalks were deep green and reached my father's shins. The rains made everything come alive. All across the region, the flowers bloomed and the forests and bushes blossomed. Everywhere you went, the land smelled rich and fragrant. It was all a cruel joke, of course, because nothing was ready to eat. In the trading center, the businessmen raised the price of maize to 1,000 kwacha per pail. Hungry people who'd long ago returned to eating gaga started getting sick when the traders began mixing it with sawdust. When this was discovered, an angry mob formed around the men. I spent all of my money, only to get a belly full of sawdust, one shouted. My children are at home vomiting. You people are criminals! The hungry people could complain all they wanted, but with no money in their pockets, they had no power. Several resorted to crime. One afternoon, my mother arrived as usual with her cakes and set up her stand. Within seconds, a crowd of people descended, shouting and grabbing at her things. I'll take 2, a woman said. Give me 3, said another. In this chaos, my mother didn't notice that others were snatching cakes from her basin and running away. One man grabbed 3 cakes, but instead of fleeing, he sat down and ate them right there. 9 kwacha, my mother demanded. I don't have any money, he answered. That evening, when she returned, her hair was wild and her face full of worry. They took almost everything, she said, and she was right. For supper, there were only crumbs. As the price of maize continued to rise, my mother bought less and less flour. The number of cakes she sold began to shrink, and so did our nightly blob of nimsa. First, it was 7 mouthfuls, then 5, 4, 3. Every time you put nimsa in your mouth, add some water, she told us. That way you trick your stomach. At supper, we kids were careful about our portions. We wanted to be fair, but my sister Rose, who was 7 years old, became greedy. Often she grabbed large handfuls of nimsa and stuffed them in her mouth before anyone could stop her. Hey, slow down, shouted Doris. Maybe you should eat faster, answered Rose. We were all becoming thin, especially the youngest ones like Rose. My parents never scolded her for taking more than her share, but one night Doris reached her breaking point. When Rose grabbed a big chunk of nimsa, Doris leaped across the basin and began punching her in the face. Mama! Cried Rose. My mother struggled to pull them apart, then collapsed against the wall. Please, she pleaded. I just don't have the strength. That night we went to bed hungry again, with the smell of food on our fingers. A smell that even the hottest water couldn't wash clean. The worse things got with the famine, the more I looked forward to school. Somehow being hungry in a classroom full of friends seemed a lot easier than being hungry at home. As the big day approached, I tried my best to get ready. The first problem I encountered was my uniform. Back when we still had money, my mother had sent me to the used clothing stalls in the trading center to buy a white shirt. Well, since my wardrobe only consisted of 2 shirts in total, I ended up wearing the white one a lot and got it dirty. Then we ran out of soap. Back when the troubles began, we'd been using a bar of cheap Maua lye soap, which the whole family shared for bathing and washing clothes. When it finally ran out, we were too broke to buy another. We could wash our bodies with warm water and bengali bushes, which acted like sponges, but a white shirt wasn't so easy. I tried everything. I boiled it over the fire, let it soak until the water was cool, then scrubbed until my shoulders were sore. Nothing worked. So I started school with yellow circles around my armpits and a gray ring around the collar. What could I do? That morning I met Gilbert on the road so we could walk together. Gilbert, Bo! Bo, sure, fit, my friend, this is the day we've been waiting for. Indeed. We should get ready to be bullied by the older boys. Yeah, I think so. Who do you think will hit us first? That's just it. If an older boy approaches us and he's not too muscular, I say we deal with him straight away. Good plan. So who should hit him first, me or you? Definitely you. The 3-mile walk to Cachecolo took us over the hills and across the maize fields and past the Dombos, where we hunted as boys. The school sat in a valley surrounded by tobacco farms where I watched tractors plowing a field, and a few lucky men with jobs enjoying a day's work. Once at school, we gathered for the morning assembly. Our principal, Mr. W.M. Feary, no relation to the fighter from my father's tall tales, stood before us, dressed in a brown threadbare suit. He was an older man with a bald head, except for bushels of gray hair that grew around his ears. Mr. Feary started by saying how happy he was to see such promising students. And he was right. We were a fine-looking bunch, and all of us were so excited to be continuing our education. In Malawi, secondary school was a privilege and an honor. In fact, I was certain that I was experiencing the greatest moment of my life. But like in any institution of learning, he said, the school has rules that must be followed. Every student should be punctual and dressed in the proper uniform. If not, punishment will be swift. After assembly was over, I was walking to class when Mr. Feary tapped me on the shoulder. "What's your name?" he said. I spun around and froze. "William Trywell Kamkwamba," I muttered, unable to hide my nerves. "Well, William, this is not the proper uniform." I threw both hands under my arms to hide the yellow stains, but Mr. Feary was pointing at my feet. "Sandals are not allowed," he said. "We require students to wear proper footwear at all times. Please come home and change." I looked down at my flip-flops, which had seen better days. The rubber connecting the sole was broken on one of the sandals, forcing me to carry a needle and thread in my pocket for emergency repairs. I didn't have another pair of shoes at home. I had to think fast. "Mr. Headmaster, sir," I said, "I would put on proper footwear, but I live in Wimbe, and I must cross 2 streams to get here. Because it's the rainy season, my mother doesn't want me ruining my good leather shoes in the mud." He scrunched his eyebrows and considered this. I prayed it would work. "Fine," he said. "But once the rains are over, I want to see you in the proper footwear." My parents didn't have money for school books either. In Malawi, the schools didn't provide learning materials like they do in America. Even in better times, most students couldn't afford to buy their own books and had to share. At Wimbe Primary, that meant squeezing your bottoms together in the same seat and hoping your friend didn't read faster than you. Luckily for me, Gilbert always had his own books and allowed me to look on. The 2 of us even read at the same level. As I mentioned, the conditions at Wimbe Primary had been terrible. Holes in the roof that let in the rain, no glass in the windows to stop the cold winter wind, lessons held under trees, and of course, I told you the terrible stories about the latrines. I was hoping for a better environment at Cachecolo, but no such luck. When Gilbert and I arrived in our new classroom, our teacher, Mr. Tembo, instructed us to sit on the floor. The government sent no money for desks and chairs, he said, looking embarrassed, or anything else for that matter. Certainly not for repairs. In the center of the floor was a giant hole, where it looked like a bomb had exploded. The walls were chipped and coming apart. A damp breeze blew through the broken windows, and sure enough, when I looked up at the ceiling, I saw a lot of blue sky. To my delight, Mr. Tembo was a kind, soft-spoken man who was patient about the setbacks. Like most teachers in community schools, he lived in a small house next door with his wife and children. His clothes were old and a bit ragged, and the small vegetable garden behind his house could hardly sustain his family. But unlike the farmers, he received a meager salary that allowed for some extra grain during the hunger. Even still, I'd seen his kids in the yard before school, and their arms and legs were as skinny as mine. Despite his poor conditions, Despite the poor conditions, Mr. Tembo wasted no time starting our lessons. Right away, we began studying history, covering early civilizations in China, Egypt, and Mesopotamia. We learned about early forms of writing and how these cultures communicated with one another. I'd always had trouble in math, but I loved our discussions about angles and degrees and how to use a ruler to take measurements. I remembered hearing those words from the builders in the trading center. One afternoon, we began our lessons in geography. Mr. Tembo pulled out a map of the world and asked us to find the continent of Africa, which was easy. Now, can anyone find Malawi? He asked. Yeah, here it is. We ran our fingers lovingly over our country. I couldn't believe how small it was compared to the rest of the world. To think, my whole life and everything in it had taken place in this little strip of earth. On the map, the land was green and the lake appeared like a blue jewel. It was hard to guess that 11 million people lived in that tiny space, and that very moment, nearly all of us were slowly starving. That week, I realized I'd been wrong. The hunger was just as painful at school as it was at home. All day, my stomach growled and gave my brain no peace, and soon it was too difficult to pay attention. At first, my classmates and I were eager to raise our hands and answer one of Mr. Tembo's questions. A few of us even competed to be the first one called. Kamkwamba, here, over here, I'd shout. But after 2 weeks, a silence fell over the room each morning and never lifted. Faces became thinner, and since we had no soap or lotions at home, our skin gradually turned dry and gray, as if dusted in ash. During recess, a few of my friends simply walked off campus to search for food and never returned. None of this mattered anyway. On the first day of February, W.M. Feary made the following announcement at Assembly. The administration is aware of the problems across the country, which we all face. But many of you still haven't paid your school fees for this term. Starting tomorrow, the free period is over. My worst fear had come true. I knew my father hadn't paid my fees, but who was I kidding? We were eating 1 meal per day. We couldn't afford to buy a bar of soap, much less pay 1,200 kwacha for my school. Walking home, I got mad at myself for even getting excited and coming in the first place. I'd allow myself a glimpse of the dream, and now it was crumbling all around. What am I going to do? I asked Gilbert. I have no choice but to face the music. Don't stress, he said. Just go home and see what happens. When I arrived home, I found my father in the fields. At school, they're saying, I should bring my fees tomorrow, 1,200 kwacha, I said. So we should pay them. Mr. Feary wasn't joking around. My father stared at the dirt for a long time, then said, you know our problem's here, son? Right now we have nothing to spare. I'm so sorry. The next morning, I stood by the road and waited for Gilbert. For some reason, I still wore my school uniform, but I wasn't going anyplace. When Gilbert appeared and waved, I let him walk past. What's the matter? He said, turning around. Aren't you coming to school? I wanted to cry. I'm dropping out. My parents don't have the money. Gilbert looked upset, which somehow made me feel better. So sorry, friend. Hopefully they can find it. Yes, perhaps. See you later, Gilbert. I walked down to Jeffrey's house to give him the news. A few weeks before, he'd gotten lucky when a bolt of lightning knocked down a tree in his yard. He chopped it into bundles and sold it as firewood along the road. It was enough to keep his family eating for a while, or at least I thought so. Jeffrey was getting dressed when I entered his room, and the sight of him made me gasp. He'd lost so much weight, his eye sockets were sunken and dark, but the white parts of his eyes seemed to glow. This is what starving people look like, I thought. They look like ghosts. Why aren't you in school? He asked. Didn't you get selected for Coca-Cola? No money. Today I dropped. Oh, he muttered, then went quiet. Me and you, we're in the same desperate situation. I hope God has a plan for us. Yeah, I said. Me too. In the afternoon, I waited by the road to meet Gilbert as he walked home. When he saw me, he was shaking his head. Almost everyone dropped out, he said. Today, we were few. Out of the 70 students, only 20 remained.
That's wild, right?
Chapter 6.
All right. So take a couple seconds, ladies and gentlemen. What just happened? No, record that. I'll give you a minute. To expedite things, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you 3 minutes. Use half that time to establish a gist in regards to what's just happened to William and his classmates. And how do you know? Hint, hint, hint. On page 111 is a very good example, strong piece of evidence that conveys essentially what the gist is talking about, okay? Or supports the gist. page 111. But what just happened in this chapter? Something with William. Can you record your responses first? I'm gonna go ahead and set my timer. I'll give you 3 minutes. Clyde, I gave you 3 minutes, and dude,
You just started this.
I got you. Lock in. What? I'm growling at me. I'm growling. Roar! Roar! Go ahead. I need. What? You got this, okay? Alright. Yes, sir. Okay. Alright, I'm come check out what you got. Is that alright?
That's the entrance. That sounds good, sir.
Can you, page 111, piece of sexual evidence on how do you know? Good job, Clyde. So, what happened with William in this whole school situation? No? No. Record it. Record it. There you go. Be okay. Yeah. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, our gist should be short and concise. Listen. Come on, dude. Page 11, 111, come on. Piece of sexual evidence. Page 111. How do you know? There's a line of dialogue at the beginning of that page, or close to the beginning of that page, that essentially conveys or supports this gist that we're establishing. And as it pertains to understanding what's going on in chapter 6 with William. William and friends.
Hey, Charles.
Yesterday. About another 28 seconds on that. Oh, yes, Ella, yes. Yes, give me some. No.
I'll give you.
No, Blaze, no. She found exactly the piece of textual evidence I needed to help support this gist. All of our gist should theoretically sound the same. Should. Page 111. Something with this father. Let's do this. What you got? What's the gist? What just happened? Yo, Caitlin, cook for us. Hold that thought. Guys, we're listening to what Caitlin has to say, please.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. Go ahead. Caitlin. No, pause. So, Seth, we're listening to Caitlin, okay? Go ahead, one more time. Let's try this one more time.
William gets selected for a school and has no money to pay for the first term. So he has to drop out.
Hang tight, guys. Caitlin, that was like the third interruption. We gonna get that response out of you, alright? Because you're saying great things. Yeah, Taylor. Always. I mean, not always, but you know what I mean. Yes. Is it the ELA book? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, thank you. Indubitably. Alright, let's try this one more time, Caitlin, because you say great things. What you got?
William gets selected for a school and has to drop out because he has no money to pay for it, and the first term is done being fulfilled.
Absolutely. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Hey, so William is enrolled in the school, but then not even a couple weeks afterwards, ladies and gentlemen, he's being told he can't go to school because he can't afford it. Yeah, go ahead. Yo, Logan, what were you gonna say?
I said that something that only, out of the 70% that was, well, out of the 70 people that were there, only 20 was left.
Okay, I'll take that. All right. I'll take one more response. We gotta keep this moving. Yeah.
Williams don't have no money.
William don't have no money, and a grammar. Yeah, like what?
This is that William don't have no money.
William doesn't have any money,
Yeah, William.
or does not have money.
William-
Lacks the funds. I'm sorry. There's so many ways we can make that grammatically correct. Go ahead. Keep going.
William does not have no money for the free periods, okay? And when he gets home, his father tells him, you don't have no money to spare.
Yeah, essentially, ladies and gentlemen, the free period of school is over for William and his classmates. Now they have to cough up the bed. I'm sorry. Can you hang tight? Yeah, now, ladies and gentlemen, they have to start kicking out money in order to pay for that tuition. Free school is over with, ladies and gentlemen. You got to also take it in mind, because we're in school for free, you're in school for free, ladies and gentlemen, it does not reflect where else children your age are going to school as well. It's not free everywhere in other countries. Their parents have to pay in order for their kids to get a solid education. So I guess the subliminal, today's word of the day. Subliminal, excuse me. Subliminal. Underlying message. Subliminal. Subliminal. Ladies and gentlemen, essentially wants you guys to read the story, but the takeaway from it is be grateful that we're in school and we don't have to pay for it. I mean, to a certain degree, my tax dollars. But ladies and gentlemen, it's not the same as it is everywhere else. Again, essentially, this story, or at least this portion of the story, is supposed to ingrain in you. Be grateful. Be grateful that we have somewhere to go to learn, and we don't have to stress or necessarily be concerned about how much it costs. You get a free education, so don't squander that. Okay, that's about the end of that. We're transitioning on to our next one. Oh, can I get a piece of textual evidence that supports that gist? Can I get a piece of textual evidence that supports that gist? We're cooking. Yo, Trinity, what you got?
On page 111.
Yes.
At the bottom. My father stared at the dirt for a long time, then said, you know, our own dear son. Right now we have nothing to spare. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, essentially he's conveying to his son, William is telling his dad, hey daddy, I need some money to fund my tuition. But then he's essentially saying, Charlie, you okay? Essentially, he's saying, his dad, by mind you, we don't have the funds. So that essentially leads to William dropping out of school. Yes.
I said something funny.
What you got?
I said, it has some it just had it said, why aren't you in school yet? Didn't you get selected for, the, I don't know how to say that. He said no, but today I dropped page, 12.
Yeah. Hey, good job stepping out of the range of 111 and being able to identify a piece of sexual evidence outside of what I recommended. But that's still a strong piece of sexual evidence that supports that gist. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm over it. We gotta move on to our next piece. All right, cool. Let's do this. Where is my? There it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, let's go ahead and run this protocol real quick. Oh, by the way, before we move any further, real quick, turn and talk. You got 30 seconds. You know what? No, we'll do the protocol. All right, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and stand up. This will be a 32-minute exercise. This will be a 2-minute exercise. So, yesterday we talked about a habit of character. You stand up. You get your arms up. We're going to need you for this, man. Yesterday we talked about, Krista, I appreciate you getting some extra read time with your exercise. All right. So, starting with, put that down. Put that down. Always fidgeting with something, dude. Put that down. All right. It's going to start off with your group member, or the person at your table, ladies and gentlemen. Essentially, turn back to back. Turn back to back. Turn back to back. Thank you. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we talked about a specific habit of character in our entrance ticket that allowed us. Hey. Okay. Hey, essentially, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. Well, William, does anybody remember William's friend who still went to school?
Yeah.
What was his name? Gilbert? Hey, Gilbert still went to school, right? But William didn't, right? Gilbert essentially expressed a certain demeanor or mentality towards William, trying to relate and understand what William is going through. What habit of character? We talked about it yesterday. No, you're going to talk about it with your back-to-back partner during this protocol. What habit of character is Gilbert displaying as he talks to William? Can y'all stop? I'll be your back-to-back partner, okay? But what habit of character is William essentially demonstrating, or Gilbert is demonstrating, and finding out that William's not going back to school? All right, I'll give you 2 minutes. I'll give you 1 minute to talk about it with your current partner, and then we'll do a little bit of a rotation. We'll walk around, and when I say stop, you'll go back to back, and you'll talk about that again with your partner or your new partner. All right. Go. Why are you standing up? You got to be back. What are you doing? I think Good work. All right. Rotate. Just walk around. Walk around the classroom. Walk around. No, walking around. When you hear the signal, come to a stop and go back to the closest person to you. Nope. Ella, come on. You're my back to back. Fine. All right. Excuse me. With your partner. Hey, you two partners. Figure that out. You two partners. Excuse me. Partners. Y'all doing? Oh, no. Y'all gonna do a 3?
Yes.
Okay, fine. All right, with your partner. Excuse me. All conversations are done right now for the time being. With your partner, what habit of character do you notice being demonstrated from Gilbert to William? I'll give you a minute. Go. So what habit of character do you guys
I noticed
that. 23 seconds left. Back to back protocol. Dad, you're supposed to be back to back.
I know they said Exactly. Landing was
You may return to your seat. You may return to your seat. In 5, 4, 4. I like golf. 4.
What about 5? Mr. Taylor, Grover, and Gilbert?
And our conversations are done. I appreciate you guys. So, I thought that was very conducive to our learning and understanding. Very conducive to our learning and understanding of how William is developing over the course of the text and how the people around him are developing. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we're transitioning to work time C. Work time C, yeah. Who said that?
C.
Yeah, no, that back-to-back protocol, that was work time B. Let's go ahead and talk about work time C so that we're all on the same page. Ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna need your journals.
Yeah. I got it.
Hey, you need yours? Huh? Yeah.
Is it there on part?
Put it right here.
Hey, let me get some. Excuse me. Hey, yo, Caleb, sit down. No, you gotta stop calling my name. I got a whole protocol. You have to raise your hand. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at a zero in voice. I want you to go ahead and take the next 30 seconds, read over read over work time. See, dude, slide under the desk. Please. I said that I did not want to redirect you today. You've been doing a great job. You've been my best boy all day. Okay. Can you get this done? No, sir. Can you please? We're right here. Dude, come on. Hi. I got you, but you're not listening, dude. Hey, whatever you're trying to convey to me right now, I got you. I will hear you out, but right now we're working, okay? Excuse me. Stop. Please stop. Here you go. That's why you're doing that. Okay, fine. Forgive me. Stop. Can you please just follow the direction? Dude. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you the remaining of this class period to write an objective summary as it pertains to lesson or chapter 6. Excuse me. Hey, I gave you a list, a bullet point on how to write this. Okay? Follow that checklist, ladies and gentlemen. Follow that checklist. We already by just establishing the gist alone, we already know the central idea, ladies and gentlemen. We already know what happens in the text. We already know what the author wants us to take away from us. We understand the connotative meaning behind the words that we just read. You got this. You know how to write objective summaries. If you need assistance, raise your hand. I got you. What's up? Yes, sir.
I just have to say something about this. My little cousin.
Dude. It's cool.
No, I'm telling the king like flips and everything.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, Remain objective. Do not use any personal pronouns. No I's, no me's, no my's, no you's. Just tell me exactly what happened in the text. Yes. Hey, if you need assistance with that, ladies and gentlemen, as far as sentence starts, look at yesterday's lesson. I gave you an objective summary for work time C. If you need to reference that for sentence starter purposes, ladies and gentlemen, that is okay. Can I come back to support you? Yeah? Here I come. This is not entry number 11. This is entry 13. Alright. Do that right here. E3. Or E13. So let's do this. So it says instruments and tech classification. So in the text, what was the text? Right there, in the text. No, dude, you start fresh line. Read what? I got you, man. No, capitalize that I. Right, the first letter of the first word. Dude, I'm gonna make sure that you, by the time we're done together, you're definitely gonna be a stronger writer. Okay? I don't.
No.
Stop. Do not fall apart. You know what? I want my journals by the end of this lesson. Excuse me. If the objective summary is not done, that's not on me. Dude, stop. Dinner was good yesterday, huh? Get this done. You have 3 minutes left to get this objective summary done. Yes. Stop. Spit that out.
They got library in like 2 minutes.
No, they're not going to elaborate that.
Alright, well, they have class in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Let's go.
Well,
No, we gotta go, dude. I'm gonna be late for my class. Come on.
okay. Hey, you have during intervention acceleration. What?
Everyone.
For what?
And I said somewhere else.